Is that focused? Focused. Nope. There we go. Hey, this is Vik JC, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to create an Amazon FBA PPC campaign strategy and optimization in 2019. Wow, that was a mouthful. This is a simple and easy Amazon FBA PPC campaign that I'm going to show you to make sure that anyone who's a beginner here and is just about to launch their product or is thinking about doing Amazon FBA, I want to show you how easy and simple your first Amazon FBA PPC campaign strategy can be. And I'm also going to show you how you can optimize it in 2019. This is absolutely not for the advanced person or somebody who's already been doing PPC for years, but if you've been doing it for a short period of time or you're just starting out, this is for you. I'm gonna jump into this video straight away so you can see how simple and easy this is. I'm going to show you how to do this with Helium 10's Magnet 2 tool or Magnet Squared tool. Let's get into the laptop. So let's take, for example, that you've entered the baby world and you're now going to be selling baby burp cloths. You've got your product inside Amazon FBA's warehouse, you're ready to sell, you've got your listing ready, now you're ready to advertise and make some money through advertising and start getting ranked as well. So this is how you would go about doing it. The tool that I'm using is the Magnet tool by Helium 10. I think they call it Magnet 2 or Magnet Squared now. Not entirely sure, but it's a brilliant tool. It doesn't actually matter which tool you use. You could use the Keyword Scout from Jungle Scout, or you could use the Magnet tool, which is the one that I prefer. And if you did want to go get this tool, I'm going to show you how amazing this tool is anyway. If you did want to go and get this tool, you can get the platinum version. I've got 50% off the platinum version for you. So instead of $97, it will be under $50. I've got a link in the description. Make sure you check that out. The discount code that you need to put in after you've clicked that link is VikJC50. So let's go and start this PPC campaign strategy. So the first thing we want to do is we want to go over to, well, Magnet over here, Magnet Squared, Magnet 2, the keyword research, and then we need to just type in baby burp cloths and then hit the search button. Make sure you're searching under the correct Amazon platform that you're selling, whether it's UK, US, Canada, etc. So you let this run, it's search, and it will come back with a number of different results. And as you can see here, it will give you some information at the top. So it will give you the search volume, it'll give you some match types, some giveaways, IQ scores. There are some top products and word frequency. This is probably one of the most important parts that I like to see. It starts to give you an idea of, with baby burp cloths, these are the most common words. And as you can see, there's a number next to it as well that will tell you the frequency use of this specific word. Now, as you can see here, well, let me scroll down. So as you can see here, it's found 2,167 words. Now, we're not going to advertise that many keywords. So we need to filter this down a little bit, and let's have a quick look at some of the words and how we're actually going to go about filtering these keywords and make sure we're targeting the correct, accurate words that are relevant to baby burp cloths and will start to make us money and we can actually be on first page for. So this is how you go about doing it. The first thing that you want to do is you ideally want to just check out the search volume on some of these words. So if you see the search volume here is really low, it's 2047, there's some zeros in there, it's really, really low. And you want to filter out these words that are not doing so well in terms of a search. People are not searching for this as much as you probably would like. So to compete in an environment where there's only 20 people searching this a month, it's highly unlikely that you're going to make that sell unless you are highly ranked. So the first thing that you want to do is you want to go over here, go to search volume and type in a minimum of 500. You could use 1,000 if you want, depending on your category, but I would like to start off with 500 as a search volume. And then the minimum word count I would like to put in is 2. So the reason I put that is because if anybody searched for baby, it's going to be highly unlikely that that word is going to be relevant. If somebody searched for cloth, for instance, there is a million different types of cloths that people would probably search for, and it's unlikely that you would be found and actually bought, and burp is not really a word that people would probably search for if you think about it. So the word count we want as a minimum is 2, and those are the only filters that we're going to use for the time being. So let's hit the apply button and see if there's 2167 changes, and it does. So the keywords that we now have is 193, which is much better, and a much better list that we could actually work with. And as you can see, the search volume has now changed. There are 18,000, 13, 1, 1, 9, no, 8, 9, 4, 5, 1,600. So you get the picture over here. There's a high search volume. So that means there's a high likely chance of you actually being found and somebody clicking into your listing and buying your product. So the first thing that you want to do now is you want to quickly go down this list and make sure that these words are actually relevant to the product that you are selling. So all you would do is under Baby Essentials, you would click this button over here. It would open out Amazon.com with Baby Essentials already searched, and you'd scroll down and see if your product is relevant. So the first thing you can see is that there is one product over here that is quite relevant, but if you look at the other products around, it seems to be a lot less relevant to the area that you essentially want to be in. So this is going to be very competitive as well. It's going to be really tough for you to try and rank and start advertising, and it will probably be quite expensive. But the thing that we're looking at there is the relevancy. So as that is not relevant, we would cross that off and get rid of that. Then the next thing we would look at is baby changing table. We already know that's probably not relevant, but you do want to look at it just in case there are some baby burp cloths that are involved there. So as you can see, completely irrelevant, and we want to get rid of that word straight away. So what you would do is you would go down this, and as you can see, there's one here that says burp cloth, and as you can see, there's just under 9,000 searches a month. That is definitely one that you want to advertise for. So as you can see here, the results show baby burp cloths. Every single listing on this page is a baby or burp cloth or some variation of a baby burp cloth. So you want to make sure you keep that in. So you would go down this list, and hopefully you'd have anything from 10 to 40 words that you want to advertise. The less you have is probably the better, so you can actually properly target these keywords and really go after them. And then once you get bigger and you expand and you've been in the business for a period of time where you're being successful, you can start to go to the advanced version of Amazon FBA PPC campaign strategies. So once you have your list, the next thing that you want to do is you want to export this data, because you want to put all of this information into Amazon Seller Central. So what you would do is go over here to the top right, you'd export this either into Excel, or you could go CSV, or you could even just copy it straight into the clipboard, which is the fastest way to do it, and we're going to try and do that. Now I wanted to quickly show you something else that they have. They have something called Frankenstein. As soon as you click on Frankenstein, it will take these keywords and it will put it into Frankenstein, where you're able to actually use this, create your SEO when you're creating your listing, and it will help you also create your listing. So I just wanted to quickly show you. If I wanted to remove duplicates, you can do that. If you wanted to convert all of these to lowercase, you can do that as well. So let's say we remove the duplicates and we process this. It comes up over here. So all the duplicates have been removed, and as you can see, there's only 130 words now. If you wanted support in creating your listing as well, they also have something called Scribbles, which I just clicked on. So Helium 10 Scribbles will actually help you create your listing. And as you start typing, you'll apply that information here. As you start typing, what you will see is baby burp cloth for girls. As you can see, these are already being crossed off, and it will tell you how many times you've used it. So if I wrote that again, you can see now it's being used twice. So the common words are consistently being used, and you're using the right words for your listing, your back-end SEO. So let's go back to the PPC campaign. So let's close off Scribbles and Frankenstein and go back to Magnet. So all we want to do is we want to copy this to clipboard, and that has already been copied. So we don't actually need to export this into Excel or a CSV file, which can get a little bit messy sometimes. So you would export that data, you would go to Amazon, so you go to advertising and you go to campaign manager, and it will bring you to this page. Now I'm using my dummy account, which is a UK based dummy account, to show you this example. So the next thing that you would do is you would create campaign. Oh, and this account is really similar to the US version, so it's pretty much exactly the same. So it will take you to this page over here, and you want to create sponsored products campaign type. Sponsored brands is if you have a brand and you have a number of different products, as you can see over here, then this is the type of advertising that you want to use. But that's when you grow and really start building your business. So we want to go to sponsored products. We hit continue over here, and then we name our campaign. So let's call it Baby Burp. Baby Burp. No end date. Let's put a daily budget of $10. So this shows pounds, but it will be dollars when you look at it. So we want to start off with $10 ideally. We'll do a manual targeting. We don't want to do automatic targeting because we have enough information from the Helium 10 magnet tool that will allow us to put the information in here. We don't need to go automatic. So then you just create an ad group, which is exactly the same thing. Just put in burp cloths. It doesn't really make a difference. Then you select the product, and that will be added straight over here once you've got your product. And then you go to the next part, which is the bidding strategy. And there are a number of different bidding strategies you can use, but as a beginner, start off with fixed bids. So fixed bids, make sure that your exact bid and any manual adjustments you set won't change your bids based on the likelihood of sales. So this is based on the likelihood of sales, and I don't like to use that essentially anyway. I use it in a slightly different way, and I'll show you that in a second. Default bid doesn't essentially matter at this stage because we're going to change the bids for all of the keywords that we are going to be using. So the next thing that you want to do is you'll see this adjust bids and the top of search first page. Essentially what this means is Amazon will increase your bid. So let's say your bid is $1, and let's say you put an increase of 13%. What that essentially means is if there's an opportunity to get your product to the top of first page, then instead of bidding $1 for that specific keyword, Amazon will bid up to $1.13 to make sure you're on the top of that page. So I want to make sure that you put in 13%. It's the exact same research criteria. Sorry, it's the exact same PPC campaign strategy that I use and is profitable for me. It's the same one that I show my students as well. So the 13%, top of search, first page, make sure you put 13% there. So if there's any opportunity for you to be at the top, it's highly likely you will get those sales and you will start making great conversions and profits as well. So put 13%, we'll move down to targeting, and we want to do some keyword targeting over here. So you can do product targeting if you wish, but you really want to understand which products are doing well and convert for you when you're advertising under their listing. So I would strongly advise that you go for keyword targeting. That's the campaign that you want to do when you're first starting out. Now Amazon will suggest some keywords for you, but as you know, we've already got our keywords and we want to enter those keywords manually. We come here and then we would select our match type. Now, as you can see, there are 3 different match types and I'll explain what they are. So it says it right here for you. Broad contains all the keywords in any order and includes plurals, variations, and related keywords. So if you had baby burp cloth and somebody typed in burp baby cloth, that would be included. But if somebody added something after that word as well, baby burp cloth for babies, or in any variation or format, that will still come up. So that essentially will come across much more keywords, but it's less targeted and it will spend a lot more money. So if we're looking at phrase, the phrase contains the exact phrase or sequence of keywords, which essentially means if you had baby burp cloth for boys, that will be found under the phrase match type. If you had baby cloth burp, it will not be found under the phrase match type. But we've got all the data to make sure that we know we've got the right phrases. Then you could also go exact and do the exact matches for the keywords and the sequence of keywords. So as you can see, the exact match is exactly what you're typing in over here. So we're going to use the phrase match type because that's the one that will allow us to expand a little bit outside of what we have. So if we have 10, then it's good to use phrase. If you got 50, then it's probably good to use exact. But I will always suggest, as a beginner, start off with phrase. So we're going to pick phrase over here, and then we are going to paste the information that we got. And there you go. How easy is that? The next thing you want to do is you want to add the keywords over here, and those keywords will be added to the list. So as you can see over here, and then Amazon have the suggested bids over here, which is likely to give you some winning bids throughout the day. So you want to make sure that you hit the apply all button over here, so you are spending the right amount of money for your specific keyword. So the next thing you want to do is you want to ignore the negative phrase part, and then you want to launch the campaign. So as you can see, the campaign has been launched successfully. If you wanted to look at some more information on your campaign, then you would just come into campaign, you would click on placements, you would go to add groups, you'd scroll down, hit on select burp cloths over there, and you would go to targeting, which will show you all of your keywords, and then you can start making some changes over here. So how do you go about optimizing these keywords if you've been doing this for a week, 2 weeks, a month? I'm going to show you this exactly how to do right now. So I'm heading over to my personal account. I'm going to block some information on there. This is just based off of a few days that I have some data for. So what you can see, let's move me there. What you can see is you have some information on impressions. Impressions essentially means that if this advert has been placed in front of a customer or a buyer and they have seen it but not necessarily clicked on it. So this is how many people it's been shown to. The next one I want to show you is clicks. So this is essentially how many people have seen the product and then clicked. And then the next piece of information I want to show you is the CTR. This is the important part when you're first starting out. The CTR is the click-through rate. So how many of these 1,066 people actually clicked and went through? So 6 people clicked, which is a 0.56% click-through rate. So a good click-through rate would be the higher, the better, the lower, the worse it is. I've found that anything less than 0.2 or 0.3% is a bad click-through rate, and anything above, especially when you're in 1 to 3% or above, then it's a very, very good click-through rate. Now I monitor mine on a weekly basis so I can adjust for this. So the first thing we're going to do is look at the click-through rate over here. Now when you have this information, and let's say for example you've made no sales through your advertising, the first thing you want to do is you want to spend more money on the ones where the click-through rate is higher. That gives you a better chance of people actually buying your product. And we want to reduce the amount that we're spending on the ones where the click-through rate is actually very low. So what's the point of spending money when people who are searching for that specific word don't actually want your specific product? We're better off spending money where people actually are searching for a specific keyword and they want to click on your product, and we have that data right here. So what I would advise is when you have this information over here, you increase the bid that you're spending. So the bid is over here. You increase this by at least 10%, and the ones that are not going through well, you decrease this by 10%. And you do this on a weekly basis, depending on what your product and category is like and what you're in. So once you've done this, another week or another 2 weeks have passed and you're starting to see some sales and you're starting to see some results, then that's when you need to change the strategy slightly just to make sure that you're properly optimizing this as a beginner. So you first need to understand that this is the sales. This is how much money and revenue you've generated based off of this keyword. You can see how many orders you've made over here with that specific keyword, and you can also see how many people have clicked through. So what you can understand here, based on the amount of people that have clicked through and then a sale has been made, you will get a number called the ACOS. The ACOS essentially is the advertising cost of sales. So how much does it cost in comparison to the sales that you make? So this is 114%, which is really high. As a general rule of thumb to begin with, if your profit margin is 30%, you ideally want to keep this around the 30% mark or lower. If it's more than the 30% mark, if it's at 40, 50, or this one, 114%, it means it's costing you money to advertise. Now in some cases it's okay, but you essentially, if you want this marketing campaign to be profitable, you want this down to 30% or lower. So as you can see here, this is 114%. It's made one sale. So I'm spending a lot of money. As you can see here, $30. I'm spending a lot of money just to advertise here. So what I would do is I would now, instead of looking at the click-through rate, I would look at reducing this bid by 10% again. So I've reduced this bid by 10% so I can try and lower how much it actually costs for me to make a sale. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, when you've got something like this, a 1.95, which is extremely profitable and making me some profit, then you want to increase this bid by 10%. If it's 1.95, you might even want to increase it by 20%. So these are very good ACOSs over here. So this one over here, again, is 46.59. I'd reduce that by 10% and see what happens in the week. So then the ones that are not making any sales, as you can see over here, you'd go back to looking at the click-through rate, and then you'd increase this bid by 10%. Over here, you can increase this bid by 10%. And that's how you would create a profitable PPC campaign very simply and easy. If you're seeing optimization for the first time, this Amazon PPC campaign strategy, if it's the first time you're looking at this and you're a beginner, or you've started doing this and you don't know how to do PPC, make sure you watch this video over again. I've also got some awesome competitions running at the moment where you can actually win Magnet Squared or Helium 10. You could also win a free coaching call with me when I can look at your products, I can look at whatever you want, or we could have a quick discussion about your business. You could also win the Amazon FBA Stars course. So make sure you check out the video of the link that I put in this video over here somewhere. I'll put a link in the description, and I will see you over there, and hopefully you will win one of these prizes. Hopefully this is really useful to you. If you really liked it, please put that like button, please subscribe to the channel, and if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section below and let me know what type of videos you want to see. Do you want me to make a remake of this video? Do you want me to make it more simple? Do you want an advanced version of this? Let me know where you are and what you'd like to see, and I will see you in the next video.